Over the weekend, Donald Trump said that he was going to be arrested the day of March 21st on Tuesday, and it's currently March 21st on a Tuesday, and he's not been arrested. But the point of this video is to tell you why he needs to be arrested. He needs to, he broke the law, he needs to face the consequences for his crimes. He's been one of the most corrupt presidents we've ever had. No, tell me another president who's been impeached twice. I'm waiting. He Russia collusion, stuff with Mexico, quid pro quo, that thing in Ukraine. He banned Muslims. He's racist. He hates Mexicans. He almost started a war in North Korea. Like, he did a whole bunch of horrible things as president, things that are probably illegal. And once a president is no longer president, they lose a lot of their protections that they had while being in office. So he was no longer president, and we're just gonna get him for his crimes. All right, and lo and behold, we got him. We're going to get him. The state of New York is pursuing a criminal case, a felony case against Donald Trump for his crimes. Nice. Awesome. What's the crime? Is it for his shady business dealings? Is it for all the corrupt and potentially illegal things he did in the election? No. Remember the one time Donald Trump paid a porn star $130,000 to not say that they banged? Wait, that's it? That's all you have? A campaign finance law that was broken, that passed the statute of limitations, but was then extended to avoid that issue with the statute of limitations? Hold on. This evil, corrupt, awful president that's going to take us to World War III. But I just want to point out the whole World War III thing. Ukraine. Anyways, so in 7 years, you're telling me that after all this time, I wonder how much money, millions of dollars we spent investigating Trump, the most you can get him on is a technicality that honestly no one cares about? Are you... Oh, and they tried to like get John Edwards in trouble with this, who actually like legitimately was having a mistress on the campaign trail while his wife was dying from cancer, I believe. And he was still acquitted. And then the case that, I mean, this case was already dealt with in federal court. Michael Cohen suffered the consequences for doing this. So they're going to resurrect a dead case that was tried by the federal government, try as a state government, and then try to get Donald Trump in trouble for that. Okay, I'm cool with this. You should be cool with this too. All right, hold on. Let's take a step back. Trump is popular now, less popular than before, but he still has his base of supporters, which in the Republican primary will be pretty important. So his supporters, we can basically divide them into two groups of people. Group one would be sort of people who are disaffected with the current system. Let's call them the MAGA crowd, and people who are pro-America. All right. And then your second group of people, traditional conservatives, aka Jesus freaks. Okay, hold on. This is really bad strategy that's going on here. Let me explain. And now I'm gonna make... Oh God, okay. I hope this work with me here. I'm not gonna make the comparison you think I'm gonna make. But let's remember this. If a lot of Trump support are Jesus freaks, what's gonna happen when there is someone seen as doing good? Well, if you're on the political right, you for the most part think that the things that Trump did while president was good. So you're going to take someone who's doing good, and then you're going to have the state authority arrest that person. Let me ask you something. Have they heard that story before? And no, I'm not making the comparison you think I'm making. All I'm saying is there's a pattern. If their number one story is about someone who part of the story was he was mistreated by the central authority, and then you have a person doing what Trump is doing, and they get in trouble with the central authority, what the hell do you think the supporters of Trump are going to do? Of course, Trump supporters, when they hear about this, when he gets indicted, they're all going to head for the hills and support, I don't know, Ron DeSantis because, he's damaged goods. And it's like, do you even know Trump? Like, everyone knows his flaws. Everyone knows all the stupid things that he's done and said. And that's the point. Why is someone so stupid? Why is someone so brash and just out of the ordinary politician? Why was Trump elected? And why does Trump have such a huge following? Because he's like the only national figure who's actively trying to put America first, or at the very least, okay, he's not doing anything. At the very least, he's saying the right things, or he's saying the things that a lot of Americans want to hear. Yeah, I do want America to be first. I don't want to sacrifice Americans for a freaking war in Ukraine. Holy crap, did we forget about what happened in Ohio? Like, are we so dumb? He was the only one who went. He went and gave Big Macs, and that's the thing. Like, that's the thing that gets to me. He goes to freaking Ohio, he goes and gives Big Macs, and then, like, the people make fun of him. Like, oh my god, look at what he's doing. He's giving all these people Big Macs, and it's like, I eat Big Macs. Like, I'm an average American. I eat McDonald's. So a lot of political pundits don't understand Trump's central message and why Trump is popular with his base. It's really simple. So it kind of goes like this. Trump goes, hey, you see those people over there? You see those political elites? Yeah, I was in that club. I was in that club for a long time until I decided to run for politics and represent you. And then the people in that club started coming after me. So they're coming after me actually because they hate me and they also hate you. They hate your politics. They hate your way of life. They hate where you live. They just don't like you. And since I decided to represent this underrepresented group in the United States, they come after me. The attacks on me are just proxy attacks on you. And here's the thing. If they take me down with stupid political witch hunts, then what's going to stop them from taking you down with stupid political witch hunts? What's stopping them, those political elites, from shutting you up in any way they possibly can? And then some political elites on the left decide that he should be arrested, thereby making his prophecy come true. So how the hell are people, his supporters, why would any of his supporters lose support for him? If anything, it's like, hey guys, you see this thing I've been talking about for years? Look, it just happened. All right, the last thing. People don't get this. Okay, we've been through 3 cycles already, and it's like, you can't see it? Okay, this is what happened. So in 2008, the Republicans ran John McCain. Okay, John McCain, he was a war veteran. He was freaking old, dude. Like, that was funny because everyone was saying, oh, John McCain, he was like 60-something in his upper 60s. Like, oh, he's too old, he's a war veteran and this and that. But, like, funny how that's not a real big concern nowadays because the only people who are running for political office, at least the 2 front runners, are older than time. But let's ignore that piece of obvious reason why the United States is going to hell. So John McCain, 2008, war veteran, really old white dude. He was called racist, bigoted, anti-Muslim. Hell, I remember him standing up for President Obama saying that he was a good guy and not to be bigoted to other people just because they don't look like you. Like, it was actually a really interesting, like, it was a really cool gesture. Like, hey, we're competing in this election, but we're Americans. We're both Americans. Like, in reality, we're on the same side. And that was a really cool thing. And I mean, of course, knowing the mainstream media, they only decided to give him his credit when he died. So then in 2012, the Republicans were like, okay, well, let's pick someone younger. So they decided to pick Mitt Romney, kind of a moderate dude. There's no way they're going to say that Mitt Romney is racist and sexist and all that stuff. And then Joe Biden's like, in some meeting, oh yeah, we elect Mitt Romney. He's going to put y'all back in chains. And it's like, okay. He was known to have, binders of women. And he was also known to put a dog on top of his car. On a road trip one time, he was the destroyer of Electronics Boutique, EB Games, was it? He was basically he was a bad guy, and he was also racist and evil because, hey, guess what? The R that you think stands for Republican actually stands for racist. So Mitt Romney loses. So the Republicans were like, okay, wait a second, hold on, let's take a step back. So if we choose a patriotic war veteran, he's a racist, bigot, evil person. The whole transphobia thing hasn't reached American politics in 2008, at least not on the national scale. So then let's pick Mitt Romney. All right, someone younger, cool. Okay, still racist, bigoted, also animal abuse. That's a new one. Let's add that one. And it's like, Though obviously none of these things were true. Hell, if anything else, Mitt Romney's binders of women just proved the fact that he paid women on average more than he paid men, which isn't that. I mean, whatever. Let's ignore that. So they said, okay, so no matter who we pick, you're gonna scream and cry and call racism, bigotry, and whatever else you wanna pull from your bag of tricks. Okay, so why don't we elect someone who's a fighter, a political fighter, someone who's not scared of, you know, getting into the political mud, trolling and saying whatever that needs to be said. And that's how you got Trump. Trump was the creation of one political party complaining and whining and saying that, oh, well, you're evil and racist. And it's like, if you're going to spread these lies, well, we might as well pick the meanest person we have. We might as well pick the person who's going to tell you to sit down and shut the hell up because you're stupid. And so that's how Trump was born. And the solution was, oh, damn, well, let's just call him racist and bigoted and transphobic even more. Let's just scream and just disrupt everything as possible because we think that his election was unfair. Oh my God, can you imagine if we actually taught people that that's a good way of getting what you want? If there is a decision and the decision, you know, you and your friends are voting where you want to get some food, and then most of your friends vote for pizza, but then you want to go eat cheeseburgers, and then you don't get what you want. So what are you gonna do? Like crash the car? And you're the driver. What are you gonna do? Crash the car so that no one gets what they want? Like, how far are you willing to go to spite the other side? And so, like, imagine if this was a classroom. So you're in a classroom and you're the teacher, and well, it's not a democracy in this situation, but like the teacher has a system and they have to put their grades into the grade book, and you know, they spend a few hours for this assignment, you know, some assignment on an essay or something, and the kids, oh my God, you want to make kids cry? Tell them you have to write an essay now, and then it's just it's a disaster. So can you imagine if these kids knew, if they were taught by their parents, yo kid, if you just bitched loud enough, you just screamed loud enough, you just complained in the middle of class, the teacher will just not give you the assignment because all of you complained, and then you just get your way. And it's like, okay, well, you just destroyed every classroom in the United States. You also destroyed the discourse of democracy because you're crying too much. Like, sorry, you don't get to win every election. You don't get to have your way all the time with hundreds of millions of people here. Sometimes your priorities have to take a back seat. Too bad. The only way the system works is if one side wins, then they get to do what they get to do what they want within the realm of law, blah blah blah, all that stuff. But their priorities take precedence, and if the other side wins, then their priorities take precedence. You can't just say, well, my side lost, so screw the whole thing, and then like poop on the Monopoly board. You can't do that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it gets a little more insane. You know, for political people, there seems to be a contest as to who hates Trump the most. What can you do? How far are you willing to go to show that you hate Donald Trump and you want to see him fail and all that stuff? So the thing that gets to me is that crime in New York has been skyrocketing in the past few years, and then the current district attorney of Manhattan ran on the platform of, I'm going to get Trump indicted. I'm going to get Trump, you know, he's going to be in handcuffs if it's up to me. All the violent crime, the carjackings, the muggings, the assaults, the other crimes I don't want to mention, you know, if they're felonies, there's no big deal. If someone, like, you know, you get mugged by someone and like you didn't really get hurt though, so let's take that from a felony to a misdemeanor. Let's ignore the obvious crime inside New York itself. Let's ignore the crime in Manhattan, and let's focus on something that was 7 years ago, which the guy doesn't even live here anymore because he lives in Florida. And it's like, how are you actually helping the citizens of Manhattan? How are you helping the residents of New York by going after this guy politically? How are you doing this? I think this is just another example of our system, our American system, slowly unraveling and showing its ugly face to us. I mean, this is a witch hunt. This is the definition of witch hunt. And you're strengthening Trump by doing this. Why do you want to do this? Why do you get to the point where you make average Americans have to support Donald Trump because of these witch hunts? Like, stop proving him right. Stop. Literally stop. Okay, I'm done. Like and subscribe. See you later.